He's the T-Rex of political talk. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
So much is happening on the freedom front. We had Charlie Sheen on Sunday announcing the winner of 20 Minutes with the President, the video contest exposing 9/11 truth. Jesse Ventura was on Larry King Live talking about 9/11 being an inside job last night. His new TV show is set to premiere tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Central on True TV. Everywhere people are talking about global government and the New World Order. There is an ultra-massive awakening taking place across the globe. Now, 9 days ago, I put out a video release breaking down the basics of ClimateGate. At the head UN Climate Center, insiders leaked thousands of emails, hundreds of documents, the computer code with notes by the computer programmers in the code about here's how we carry out the fraud, the earth is getting colder, here's how you fool the data, here's how you hide the decline as we've been ordered to do. They gave it to other countries. Now New Zealand has been caught manipulating their numbers to fit. Now we have the official United Nations documents that are in an article written by Paul Joseph Watson. Bombshell, UN documents outline plan to use ClimateGate crooks and end run around national sovereignty. And in here they talk about how to go out and politically get control of all the scientists. This was years ago. How to get them on the payroll for world government. How this is world communism, how it's meant to shut down freedom, how they've got to do this by stealth, that it's to set it up so the UN can make all the world rules and make all the laws. The UN itself, a private holding company for private central banks engaged in a private corporate takeover of the planet. This article is so important. And then secondarily, in the UN documents that have just now surfaced, that the UN admits are theirs, and this is all admitted, they talk about how to take over your children. And then we see Al Gore giving speeches to elementary kids about don't listen to your parents. You teach them that the earth is dying. We've got to have the tax. He's all over TV promoting it. He's in dramas, sitcoms, the news. It comes out the government's paying for this. This is hardcore program that's worse than the Soviet Union. I mean, at least there they admitted they were doing it. Here they try to hide it, but it is publicly available. So that's going on. It's kind of a public secret. We have the New York Times bragging how kids are trained, 7th graders, to come home and tell their mom you can't have a hot bath and to write them climate tickets and bring it back to their teachers and report on them. We already knew this was being implemented globally because it's the same programs everywhere, but now we have the internal UN documents. It is up to the viewers and the listeners of this radio/TV transmission, just like you helped drive ClimateGate out like no one else. And it's up to all the activist sites, the libertarians, conservatives, true liberals, people that want freedom, people that are shattering the left-right paradigm that want justice, to get this latest UN World Government Gate, UN takeover of the children gate, UN Children Gate. Hell, the UN's always caught running child kidnapping rings. I'm not talking about that child kidnapping gate. But this child takeover, this brainwashing gate, from Australia to Canada to England to the U.S. to Germany, it's global, to Japan. We are under global management. They're just admitting the world government now. Mike Rivero of WhatReallyHappened.com joining us from Hawaii via video Skype. Mike, I mean, the magnitude of these documents. First, I want to get your take on how we help push this out to everyone to show how the UN in their own documents is talking about how they recruited scientists to fix the data. This completes the circuit of fraud from NASA and the U.S. government to the UN to England. And so, A, how do we get this out? B, your take on ClimateGate and these latest revelations, as just like with Watergate or something, the deeper we dig, the worse it gets.
Yeah, it is absolutely a monumental scandal right now, and it is important to get all of this information out there. It is important to get to people who normally do not get their news off the internet and get this to them as well. We're in an absolute war. It is an information war right now. The corporate media, with the exception of Fox News and a couple of individual organizations like Wall Street Journal, is covering this with a great deal of fairness and objectivity. But for the most part, the corporate media is still trying as hard as they can to put a lid on this. They're still trying to sell Copenhagen is a good thing. They're trying to get this through. It's a bum's rush. They're trying to get it done as fast as they can before the rest of the world wakes up to what's going on. And just talking to everybody, posting everywhere, flood the net, call your newspapers, just get in their faces and let them know there's a huge monumental fraud going on here. Now, with regard to ClimateGate, the global warming hoax, if you will, was one of three pillars on which this push for global government was built. The other two were swine 11, the phony global pandemic, which hasn't really worked out, and of course the global financial crisis. So right now the global government agenda is in serious, serious trouble. They see this fight over ClimateGate as possibly being the final battle, because if the global warming hoax becomes exposed to the whole public and that pillar collapses, then the whole global government agenda is going to start unraveling and coming apart. Now, the thing I've been telling my listeners and my readers over at my website is really very simple. For everybody who ever said, oh, the government doesn't engage in such massive conspiracies, you've got one right in front of you, staked out for all the world to see. And after you look at this with government, the media, and it wasn't just Hadley CRU, New Zealand's Climate Research Center has been compromised, NOAA has been caught fudging their data. It is truly a massive conspiracy to trick the people of the world into accepting the yoke of global taxation and global government. Look at this and then ask, what else have they been lying to us about? And more importantly, if they get away with it this time, what else will they lie to us about in the future?
And Mike, expanding on a point you just made, there's all these famous FBI hidden video clips of the mafia in New York and New Jersey and Illinois meeting around pool tables or in bars, talking about murders they've committed, talking about whores they're running, talking about drugs they're bringing in, talking about cops and judges they're buying. We have that with the ClimateGate emails and the computer program with the notes. For those that don't know computer programs, if there's glitches in them or designed fraud, there'll be internal manuals, just like Diebold got caught with the programs with internal messages to how to manipulate things. They have been caught in spades, red-handed, across the board in premeditated fraud from the head UN climate change facility that they chose, who would announce the benchline fraud, and then everyone else in UN-controlled academia would then line up and parrot that and fix their data along with it. And now we have the latest UN documents where they're talking about fixing the data with all the regional groups. I mean, this is a giant 30-year takeover program that is now blowing up before our eyes, and this is beautiful.
Yeah, it absolutely is. This is Mother Nature telling Al Gore, booga booga, because obviously the Earth has been cooling for the last 9 to 10 years. It forces them to talk about hiding the decline, because if you think about what is really invested, I mean, look at all the people who have put their own personal fortunes into these new green industries. Al Gore is heavily invested in his brokerage. Obama is hooked in with this Chicago Climate Exchange operation. They've all put their money into it. It's the new big money maker. Plus, you've got the global government agenda. There are trillions of dollars on the line here, and they're seeing it all blow up in front of their faces just because the Earth happened to get cooler. Well, these people didn't become rich and powerful by letting a little thing like the truth get in their way. So they're out there just trying to propagandize this thing. They're already out there spinning, saying, well, okay, we caught a few bad scientists, but we have all this other data which says what we wanted to say here. But common sense has to tell you, if you have 10 reports that all say the same thing, and one is a proven fraud, then the other 9 are going to be a fraud as well. Because
and then we have the latest UN document, internal document, not for publication, which the UN confirms has now been released, where they're going back over the last few years, getting all their scientists lined up, recruiting them like secret agents to be part of this political takeover for global governance. We have them red-handed.
Yes, we absolutely do, and people should be very, very angry about this, not only because of the push for global enslavement, because when you talk about taking taxes away from people on the basis of a hoax and giving nothing back, that's slavery. I mean, they're going to be in there raking in the trillions of dollars in carbon taxes and saying, yeah, we're saving you from global warming. Give me the money. We're saving you from global warming here. It's a hoax, and that is a form of enslavement. It is a covert form of enslavement, but it is still planetary enslavement. That's what they're trying trying to do. And people should be furious about this. Right now, anger is the appropriate survival response.
And I just want to point out to everybody that we've been right about this all along. We have been here telling the truth, that it was a fraud, that it was for global government, that it was a way to wage war against humanity. It was a way to give us carbon credits with national ID cards to track everything we were saying and doing. And we were only going off their own documents.